Hey, everybody. We are so glad you're here. It is Sunday evening, March, I believe, 6th. And we are excited that you have joined us for this week's client celebration call. So thanks so much for being here. First up, I would like to introduce Glenda. And I will let her start telling her story. So, Glenda, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Trish. So my story is that I came on board this program actually about 6 years ago. You know, I had struggled with my weight all my life. I had been able to pretty much exercise my way and keep my weight down up until I hit menopause. And then it was like, oh my gosh, packed on about 40 pounds that I just couldn't quite get rid of. And I had a really good friend that she and I had always done everything together. We had done every program under the sun, and I hadn't seen her in about, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months. And we went out to eat, and she walked in and she was like 50 pounds down. And I was like, what the heck are you doing? Because whatever it is, girl, I got to have that. So I asked her what she was doing, and she told me it was just like the easiest thing we've ever done, you know. So she says, I think I'm going to be a coach. I says, well, you be a coach and I'll be your first client. So I jumped on board a few weeks later, and I lost 35 pounds in like 10 weeks. It was the easiest program we had ever done. And I just loved it. And I lost that weight, and I became a walking billboard. And I actually referred her all my friends and family, and I didn't want to be a coach. So moving forward, a couple years later, I just kind of reassessed my life. I gained a little weight back, and I thought, you know, what is with this coaching thing? So I asked her about it. So a year and a half ago, I jumped on board as a coach, and it's just been the most rewarding thing I have ever done. I mean, I love to help people already, and this was just another layer of that. And I've been able to help people, and I actually quit my full-time hygiene job to do this full-time, and just have really enjoyed it. The energy I get from it, and it's been really fun.
What do you think is your most favorite part?
Oh my.
Like, what are you doing now that you weren't doing before, maybe?
What am I doing now that I wasn't doing before?
Family stuff, travel stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, now, before, you know, even though I love my hygiene job and I loved helping people, you know, I always was like, oh, gee, can I take another week off work because I love to travel? And now I can go where I want, when I want. I have the freedom to do that. It's just been amazing to go visit my grandkids when I want to go. We travel a lot with a bunch of our friends who are also health coaches, and so I've really enjoyed that. And it's been really, really fun reaching out to old friends from my past, which is Cindy, which she'll tell her story in a minute, but we went to grade school together, I kid you not, and we had not connected in all of these years. I mean, we graduated from 8th grade together. And this has been really, really fun to walk this journey with her and her son and her husband. And now she's coaching too. So it's been a great fun. And, you know, I also, Dennis and Michael, I think, are on the call. And we've been traveling with them for years. And I introduced the program to Dennis, and he was like, what you got going? And he lost weight on it and has a whole bunch of people that he's helping. And it's just been, I mean, it's just crazy. I met you through this program. It's just been so fun. So fun.
I was going to say, very cool, but I'm muted. Well, so isn't it fun how we are reconnecting with people from the past? And so some of us maybe didn't even realize how long we'd known some of our friends until we started doing the math. And it's like, wow, that's kind of mind-boggling. It's been fun to get to know new people. So, Cindy, I'm going to let Glenda introduce you. While you do that, hold on, let me unmute you in the meantime. And whoopsie, we went the other way. There you go. And Glenda, take it away, and I'll put the picture up in a sec.
Okay. Well, like I say, Cindy and I actually knew each other in grade school. And as I started sharing and getting the word out to just everybody I knew, started being more active on Facebook just to get the word out. And Cindy, I think, had been watching my posts just really, really quietly and not saying a whole lot. And one day she texted me and wanted to know what I had going. And it was so exciting to reconnect with her after, dare I say, 40 years, 45, 50 years, 55. Yeah, we're not even going there. And so I hope and I feel certain that this has really, really transformed her life and just made a huge difference for her and her family. So I'll let her tell you a little bit about that.
Okay. For me, I will tell you that from the time that my youngest was born, Travis, I had gradually packed on over 100 pounds. Through that time frame, I also ended up with my hips deteriorating, so I was not being able to exercise at all, and that only added to that weight gain. And I tried everything, and I had quietly decided after talking to Glenda that I would go ahead and try this program. My son actually had put on quite a bit of weight. He is now 33, and he was putting on weight, and he had been placed on blood pressure medication, and the doctor had given him some diet pills, and I am very resistant to pills, to be honest with you. So he, about that same time that I decided I was going to do this, he looks at me and goes, "So what diet are you going to put me on, Mom?" And I said, "Great, we'll do this together." So that's exactly what we've been able to do, is to do this together. We've lost about the same. It's just shy of 60 pounds, both of us. And to be honest with you, it really hasn't been that difficult. We both lead very, very busy lives, and it's been great. So during that process, I reconnected with who is now my husband, as you can see in the picture there. Shortly after my son and I started on this diet, and I don't want to call it a diet because it's more about a program, because I'm excited about all the things I can do now that I couldn't before. And he and I had gone to high school together, and he also actually knew Glenda for a brief time in our lives. And we reconnected, and after I'd been on this for a little bit, he goes, I could stand to lose a little bit of weight as well. He's lost 33 pounds. And at the end of January, then we were married. And that's the picture that you have there, is a picture of us on our wedding day. For me, I will tell you personally, I can now walk. In fact, today my son and I were out shopping. We couldn't find any place at all to park, and we had to park the furthest. And he turned and he looked at me and he said, "Mom, before you would have been just making me drive around and around and around and around to get the closest place possible. And now it's like, just find a place. I don't care how far we have to walk." And that to me is the biggest freedom that I can tell you. So for me, it's about my ability to be able to be mobile again, between the replacement of my hips and now the loss of half my goal weight. I'm not there yet. I still have room to improve. And for him, he's decreased the amount of blood pressure medication and obviously didn't have to go on diet pills, thank goodness. We're all feeling a whole lot better, and we can do things that we weren't able to do before. So that's kind of where we're at.
That is so awesome.
That is very, very cool. So we're so excited for you. Who has questions for Cindy? What do you love the most about the program? I'll start with my first question. Y'all be thinking about something to ask her. How about that? What do you like the most?
What do I like to be quite frank, one of the things that I love the most about it is the ease of the program. I live an extremely busy lifestyle. I am I'm into healthcare, and the job I have is very stressful, and we go nonstop from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, and I'm on call 24/7. So for me to be able to just grab something and to be able to to replenish myself on a regular basis, but it's just easy with the grab and go, and then I'm only cooking once, and it's very simple cooking. You know, it's not the complicated stuff we always thought we used to have to do. The lean and green is so easy to do, and it makes it much. Actually, I've had more home cooked meals now since we started this program than what we've done in years. So, you know, that's what's fun for me.
And what surprised you the most about it? Because I know a lot of people like, oh yeah, I know all about that. So I know a lot of times we think we know about those kind of diets, but since ours isn't a diet, what surprised you the most?
Ease in which the weight came off. I've tried so many, and you know, you'd lose maybe in the first couple of weeks, and then after that, it was a chore. This is not, and then you actually feel good. You know, a lot of times you're dragging when you're on other diets and you're looking at things and you're going, are you kidding me? I'd really rather be doing that than what I'm doing. But you don't feel that way. So to me, it's really, you're satisfied, you're full, you've got energy. That's what's surprising from any of the other things I've ever done.
Totally agree. Okay, hold on. I'm wondering if, is Michael around, Dennis? Is he available to speak? Okay. So since the Habit of Health this week is all about motion, and besides Michael being a doctor, he's also a personal trainer. Of course, his screen is frozen right now. We're not getting very far with that. But maybe when they come back on, Michael can talk to us a little bit about that. So hold on. Y'all are muted, okay? Take it away, Michael.
Here we are. Are we good now?
Yeah, we're good.
Hey, guys. So when, a lot of people just are not active at all. And so just the idea of even moving more, I absolutely loved what you were talking about, because the fact is that you are moving so much more now. You are so much more active than you were before, but it's not just about exercise. Really what we talk about early on in the program is just think about moving just a little bit more. And when I tell people, really, if you're moving more today than you did yesterday, that's a really successful day. And that's really all you need to worry about. Don't get freaked out about going to exercise for 30 minutes a day or getting to the gym. It's what Dr. A talks about, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All that means basically is all the activity you do throughout the day that isn't officially exercise is so important. And it helps combat what we've learned a lot about in recent years called sitting disease. We've coined that term because we know now that so many of us are sedentary and sit so much throughout the day that even if you exercise, all that sitting without moving around actually increases your risk of disease and death. So the fact that we're just all moving more is huge. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get to the gym. Just walk around your house and you're doing yourself a world of good.
So what do you find, Michael, when you're talking to your clients who they think they're going to help the program? And so maybe they've only lost 20 pounds, but they're feeling pretty spiffy now. So they're like, hey, I'm going to start running 45 minutes a day on the treadmill 4 days a week. What happens?
So here's the thing. In recent years, we have learned that when it comes to weight loss, and this is why most doctors, I'll call them traditional doctors, but really just most doctors really get a failing grade when they talk to their patients about how to lose weight. But because we've learned in recent years, when it comes to losing weight, it's like 90% about what you eat and what you don't eat, and not about your exercise. In fact, and in particular on this program, if you get too active too fast, you could offset a lot of your success and even slow down or stop your weight loss, because we have things finely regulated for you on this program, and you're getting all the nutrition you need. But if you exert too many calories, you're going to offset that fine balance, which is great news if you're not really into exercise. Now, I don't want to downplay the importance of exercise. It's very important for your long-term health to maintain your weight and to keep your body strong overall. But when it comes to weight loss, just focus on eating right, sticking to the program, getting to your weight goal, just being more active generally throughout the day, and the exercise can come later when we know you're feeling amazing and you want to do something with all that energy, but direct it in the right way so you don't offset all your great results.
So what do we like to say? You cannot outrun your fork.
Yes, you can't outrun your fork. And that is so true. That's, again, speaks to why it's all about nutrition. I get so upset when I see all these poor people in the gym working their butt off, and I know they're not seeing any results because we see them time and time again. Now, they're getting much fitter, but in their mind, they're not, because they're not really seeing the results that they came there for, and that is losing weight. So again, like Tricia says, you absolutely can't outrun your fork.
Thank you, Dr. Smith.
You're welcome.
Let's see. I'm going to call on Becky. And because we just came back from a conference in Baltimore, and that Becky was walking all over everywhere. So tell me about what is your favorite activity, what you like most about the program, Becky?
The program itself?
And everything, like, especially let's focus on activity since that's our habit of this week.
Well, I loved that I could lose weight without having to exercise initially a lot. And of course, once I got to a healthy weight, I was excited to go exercise more and to walk all over the city and to walk places instead of grabbing a cab or, calling Uber or things like that, because I felt amazing. And one thing that I wanted to say, though, is that I loved when Dr. A shared on one of his recent question and answer sessions about, people who are 30 or 40, 50 pounds overweight, and they want to go out and start running and exercising and doing all these activities, whereas they could damage themselves or hurt themselves, their knees or, whatever, hips, because their body is carrying around all that weight. And I know when I was in Baltimore, I took a picture with all these bags of sugar that I had lost because I lost 40 pounds. And if your body is carrying around all that weight, you're going to hurt yourself. But once you get it off with a program like ours, and then you can go out and exercise and do all those activities and not damage your knees, which, as we get older, over 60 here, we have to be a little more concerned about those kinds of things. So I really loved that I didn't have to exercise a ton. Of course, I did lots of walking, parked farther away from the grocery store, took the stairs, things like that during my weight loss phase in the program. But of course, now that I've lost the weight, I have so much more energy and can just walk all over a city and just have a great time.
I know that a lot of us took those pictures with the bags of sugar, and wasn't it interesting raise your hand if you did that. Okay, so wasn't it interesting how much harder it is to hold that same weight in your hands than carting it around on your hips and in your heart and all of that? I found that absolutely fascinating.
Yes, totally. Yes.
Thank you, Becky, for sharing. So since we have Dr. Michael on the line, does anybody have any questions to ask our Dr. Health Coach? Since he's handy and right here, we don't always have him, but y'all could take advantage now. Unmute yourself if you do. There he is.
Hey, Michael, I've got a new client who is completing her third week, and she's facing a pretty extensive hysterectomy next week, and she's a little concerned about, how that's going to affect her. I've just told her, hey, you just got to take one day at a time, and you're going to be so much healthier, but she's a little concerned about how that's going to affect her plan.
So is she concerned about her ability to stay on it afterwards, you mean?
No, I think she's talking about during some of the recovery period. She's kind of has it in her mind that she's going to need to eat more calories in order to recover from the surgery.
So first of all, she definitely should probably talk to her doctor about that, because her doctor needs to be aware of the nutritional program that she's on. Now, this is a complete nutritional program. Now, the doctor, if anything, might recommend that she get a little bit more protein. So when she thinks about she'll need to eat more, she can even eat more if the doctor suggests so, without really offsetting much results if she focuses on the protein, which is what she's really going to need, if she needs anything else at all. But, you know, if the doctor recommends she eat more, then I would just focus on her getting like another dose of, or another serving of protein a day.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Thank you, Michael, by the way.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I think that we've had a fantastic call tonight. What do you guys say? Let's do it again next week. All right. Well, then, on that note, I will see you all later. Take care. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Great week.
Bye.
Bye.